Vanity setting.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Get Your Holiday Glow in No Time with Kara Stevenson, the amazing makeup artist.
Hi,
Thank you so
Crystal.
much. Hello. So great to have you here in this amazing community of people just trying to level up their health, their wellness, their business, their fitness.
Yeah.
And we're all about efficiency because we're really, really busy. I know you're busy. You have a lot going on. 2022 has been a whirlwind. We
Yes.
met, what, 6 months ago at an
Yes.
event,
And look at us
and
now.
yeah, I can't believe it. Time flies. So
Yep.
I'd love for you to meet my amazing community, and I know you're part of it. So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're excited for coming up in the new year.
Well, the stakes are high. I think they're getting higher and higher every year, right? We all start the new year going, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get toned. I'm going to get makeup and skin and all that stuff in order. But it can very quickly be overwhelming. We can set these goals that are okay, they are attainable, right? But it's like way more than what you're used to. And I think I'm here to say that it doesn't have to be that big or that complicated. What I have found in my life is that the simple steps get me farther, the little baby steps that get me farther, whether it's just with my own business, with my interests, with my fitness, especially. I mean, look at you're doing the 30-minute hit workouts, right? I used to do 2 hours at the gym. I'm more efficient in the 30 minutes and I've gotten farther faster with those little 30 minutes. It's the same thing with makeup and skincare, getting ready for the day and actually reaching the goals that you have for yourself, right? Because we all go out of the gate super, super excited. But a lot of people can burn out quickly and then they wind up throwing everything to the side, and it doesn't have to be that way. So yes, for me, there are minimum steps that I take every day just to make myself presentable. And to be honest with you, as a mom of three and doing three different jobs, if not more, it can get discouraging when like one day you can't do what you normally do. But if I do these minimum steps, it's good enough and I'm happy with it.
Yes, I love that. And
Mhm.
it's the little things, right? And they add up. And
Yes.
I think, well, my curling iron broke today. It broke. I don't know if you saw, if you heard, but I Delta lost my luggage for 3 days
Oh
as I was
no.
traveling last week. And then I opened up my suitcase. Not only was it broken, but my curling iron broke. So here I
Ah,
am, half made up. I got my makeup, I got my nice red lips. But my hair is not 100%. And I'll tell you, like,
it
I'm
looks great
feeling
though.
it.
I
Thank
know.
you. Thank you. I
Isn't it
never wear
weird?
it like natural without curling it.
Yes.
So I put a little hairspray in it. I kind of, did a little more than I normally do.
Oh, I think it's super cute,
um,
super cute. But we're all like, this is what happens sometimes, right? Like I've been traveling too a lot. I just drove like 12 hours yesterday and I opened up my makeup case this morning and I'm like, did I bring my lash glue? Like I'm 12 hours, stupid, so stupid, right? But it's funny how like these little things mean a lot, but you could just go to the drugstore seriously and get small investment and get the same result. So, you know,
yes, I love
curling
that.
irons don't have to be expensive.
No, they don't. And actually, the best one has been the cheapest one for me, my Revlon. And I'm actually going to go buy super glue because it was just the end that fell off. And of course, I can't twirl without the end of
Yeah, you
it,
break
right?
your fingers. I get it. I get
Right.
it. Yes,
So struggle's real.
it is.
Um, but you make a really good point of like even just your local drugstore. I mean, CVS is down the street.
Yes.
Can you tell us like kind of what your small, like maybe just some manageable non-negotiables that you live by? I know
Yes.
I want to kind of get into the makeup and the skincare
Always.
conversation too, but
Yeah, those are my toys.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I grew up, my Christmas present every year was a basket of makeup. I didn't care about anything else. I was like, just give me my basket of makeup. And my parents would just put in a whole bunch of different brands and things like that. And I just look forward to that every year. But then I went on to do some global marketing for big beauty companies in New York City. And one thing I quickly learned was that a lot of these big companies own the smaller companies or the mass market companies that are in drugstores, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid. They share formulas. So it's not like it used to be where in drugstores, you would get a very different shade range than you would if you were at a Sephora or an Ulta. Now they're actually very similar, and they've made it more affordable for women to achieve something simple. You don't have to have, you don't have to make a large investment, you know. But when I go into a drugstore, I look for key skincare products. I mean, at minimum, a foundation, a powder, a concealer, mascara, and lip, right? We can do a lot with those things. And most products now are multitaskers. To be honest, you can use a lipstick and put it on your cheeks, blend it out, and it's a cream blush. You know, formulas are now usable wherever, where you used to break out, you know, from some of the ingredients that were in it. However, now it's different. The formulas are more sophisticated. Now, the target market for your group, it probably runs the gamut, right? So you have some young, some older, different phases of life. So skin prep is really the most important factor, that if you had to spend a lot of your money, let's say even at the drugstore, on one thing, you want good skincare. You want a vitamin A, you want a vitamin B and a C, and you'll find that in one product. It could be a face wash or a moisturizer, but to me, that is the number one, taking care of your skin. If your skin's not taken care of from the inside out, there is no way when you put something on the outside that it's going to look good. There's just no way. You know, drinking water, it's all part of it. Sweating it out, getting those toxins out of your skin. You have to, right? Because your body's a living organism. So if you're just going to cover up stuff, which sometimes we have to, right? It's necessary, but you want your skin to operate at its optimal. So, yeah, I mean, for me, a face wash with a vitamin A, B, or C, and a moisturizer. Hyaluronic acid is very good. That's an ingredient that is popular right now, but it's also very effective for moisture, plumping, smoothing, and preparing the skin for foundation. So when you put the foundation on, you don't have these dry patches. You don't have a breakout that makes it look very different than another side of your face. It's more balanced, if that makes sense.
Yes. So hyaluronic acid.
Hyaluronic acid, yes.
Yes.
And I can
Okay.
spell that. Anybody who wants to know, I can type it all out and put it in a form, but it's everywhere right now. You'll see it. A lot of people get scared by the word acid because they think, oh my word, that's going to sizzle my skin off. It's just the molecule that's in the formula, and it actually holds a lot of moisture and holds collagen and things like that. So, you know, we could go into the study of skin, which we could do another time, but collagen and elastin are very important structures within your skin. And the hyaluronic acid actually stimulates the collagen production so that it can hold the moisture. There's a difference between being hydrated and moisturized, you know, so your skin can be moisturized, but something's got to hold it, right? So that's the collagen and elastin in there.
Wow. I want to take
A lot of stuff,
notes, but I'm going to be doing catching this on replay and taking notes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
But you know, it could get technical with fitness too. I was like, how deep do you want to go? You know,
Absolutely.
we'll keep it simple. You know, it's just, it really doesn't have to be complicated. And most of the time, once people get started, they wind up going for more. You know, it's like addicting. So you start seeing results and then you want to go more, right? Same thing with eating and nutrition.
Exactly. And I find that really what we eat, and you mentioned being hydrated, like our nutrition and our fitness has a lot to do with how our skin looks.
It's true. Yes.
And your sleep, right? So I know that my skin, it dries out when I'm dehydrated, when I'm lacking sleep. I can see physically. I'm like, whoa, girl.
I mean, you also too, like when you're eating avocados and almonds versus, you know, candy and carbs, like there's a big difference. Weather has a lot to do with it. Hormones have a lot to do with it. There's just, and most of the time as women, we're like, what's happening to me? You know, then you might go through your changes, and that's a whole other thing. But having consistent workouts, consistency is key, right? Over time, don't do it for 2 weeks. Find something simple that you could do for a long time. You know, it's easier to integrate a simple step than it is something really complicated.
Yes, I love that. Simple is easy, especially our attention spans as humans,
right?
Especially since COVID has shortened. Like I had this conversation with someone else this morning. Yeah, It's like 3.8 seconds. You have to get people's attention. Like we don't have
Yeah.
that much time, right? So let's work smarter, not harder.
It's it. That's
So I
key.
love that foundation of like, okay, so my face, I have habits, that's something that is easy, attainable, that I can do every day. I know that if I don't wash my face at night, if I'm too tired, if I don't have it as part of my regimen, I'm gonna wake up probably 2 days later with a zit.
That's right. Yes.
So I know, like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it.
You know
But
what? I think people believe that they're like machines, right? Their body's not going to show their stress, and it absolutely will. And sometimes they pop up and we go, oh my word, what caused that? But there's a lot of things that we don't see we might be doing to our bodies and taking in. And we have to make sure that we are purposeful with a lot of things like drinking water. I didn't at one time love water, but now I'm like, I know when I'm dehydrated, my body's like, you're not giving me what I need. It
Mhm.
literally started with 1 bottle of water a day, and then it went on from there. And now when my skin's not where it's supposed to be, I'm like, rats, like haven't been drinking the water, stuff like that happens. And then, you know, it, it's really, it's simple. Simple changes are what I say.
Love it, love it. So all about routine and habits, small things daily. And everyone is different, right? So everyone, can you talk to us a little bit about the types of skin? Because I know I have very oily skin.
Mhm.
But can you just talk to us basic like type of skin and like maybe what we should think about? I know I heard that with my oily skin, I don't want to have oil-based products, but I've heard that it's actually good for me. So if you could just kind of break that down, because if people are going to the grocery store right now or the drugstore and trying to find something, they don't know what their type is. How do we figure that out?
Right. Okay. Most of the time, a person can tell if their skin is dry, oily, or combination. So before I go and do someone's makeup, I'll say to them, what do you have on your face? And what do you believe your skin type is? Give me some signs of what happens during the day. Like dry skin, dry patches, tightness, um, sometimes wrinkles, right? So that's where oil-based products used to be a no-no. Now, though, oil-based products are like a thing. They've just become more sophisticated. The delivery systems are different. They are now a step between your cleanser and your moisturizer. So it's more like a serum, which becomes safer for even oily skin types. But dry skin, you're going to want hydration. You're going to want hyaluronic acid. You're going to want collagen and elastin, because what happens is your collagen and elastin are breaking down and your skin's not tight anymore. It's actually feeling like it's just shrinking and getting tighter. I mean, wrinklier. And a lot of times what happens is it'll start here, it'll come here. So you really want to get those serums. If you're afraid of oil-based products, the serums are important, and moisturizers, so that's dry skin. Oily skin, it's funny, can be, I have very oily skin. I have a Ukrainian and Italian background. So we've got it all over. My back is oily. My legs are oily, like everything. And the tendency for oily skin people is to exfoliate and over exfoliate. We just want to get that. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. You should actually be nourishing your skin with the right things. Oil-free products are great, but instead of a cream-based foundation, let's say, or a heavy emollient moisturizer, use the lighter water-based ones, that are lighter. Your skin's not going to feel dry and wrinkly. It's actually just like your makeup will wear differently and almost like move around, right? So you need like a mattifying product. Primers are great for that because you want it to grip the makeup. And it runs the gamut. We could talk about primers too for 30 minutes. You know
Yeah.
how it is. But skin type matters. And so one thing I had to learn when I was younger was over exfoliating makes your skin more oily because it just wants to overproduce. Um, and the wrong skincare in general. And just, oh, I break out. That must mean I'm really oily. That means I got to exfoliate. I got to use the retinols. It's actually the opposite. You want to nourish your skin, and then it balances out, and the oil production starts to balance out. So it's just getting the key products. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah. It seems like a lot, right? And so for people that don't know where to start, obviously starting with something, maybe sticking with it for a little while to, what do you recommend as far as the time frame?
Yeah. Well, sticking with
Just
what, the
to,
right or a change?
maybe a right regimen before we change, right?
I'm gonna give it a good 28 days because your skin cell turnover doesn't actually do its full thing until 28 days. And then once you give it about a month, which is why I hate samples. I like samples for the immediate result, but when you can get a sample of something, you really should have enough for a full month, because
Yeah.
you're not going to really be able to see the benefits until till 30 days, and it's the same thing with food, I think, just staying consistent.
Hmm.
And that's key. You can always tweak, but I think it's really learning about your skin type. And so the most common skin type is combination, where you're oily in your T-zone, like right above here and down here. So that's actually considered normal, right? So you want a nice gentle face wash and a nice gentle moisturizer, maybe a serum in between, and just being consistent over time.
Love it. Okay. And the same thing, like you said, with fitness, or nutrition, like really sticking to something before we're like, okay, let's try this. And then,
Right.
that didn't work in a week.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
that's
Well, when
why,
I
go ahead.
started with yours, right? I started in July. In my
Mhm.
mind, I thought it's probably going to take about 6 weeks, right? So even those mornings that I'm like, I really don't feel like doing this, I'm working towards it. So I want to see what it's going to be in six. Then when 6 weeks came along, I mean, people are like, your arms, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, let me tell you, it's it takes time. We want immediate gratification, right? We always want immediate results, but unfortunately our bodies are not made that way. it's
Right.
healthier it's healthier to do things over time.
Yes.
The
Love
lifestyle.
that. Hmm. Love it. It's all intertwined, and that's why I'm so glad to have you here.
Yes.
So, yes, yes, yes. So, when we think about this holiday weekend, I know we have staples. You said, obviously the skincare, foundation, concealer, mascara,
Right.
lip. Can you give us like, what about like, okay, so we're blondes. Should we look for more warm stuff? More warm colors? Like, should not everyone wear a red lip? What
Right.
colors, or can you give us kind of like a quick tutorial on what to kind of pull from our toolkit, or maybe in their drawer?
Yes.
And does stuff expire?
It does. Yes, it
That's what
does.
I
I,
thought.
I am guilty of keeping things a little too long because I'll find products that I really love and I just want to, so you got to be really careful. It really has less to do with hair color than it does complexion and eye color. So when I'm doing someone's makeup, I'll look at their eye color, and a good rule of thumb is if your eye color is like mine are, like hazel green-ish, go the opposite side of the color wheel when it comes to choosing eyeshadow. So I will go for reddish browns, because if I want to stay neutral, which most of the time I do, there's cool browns and warm browns. I will want to go with the warm browns because the red is warmer and makes my eyes pop. That's why too the whites of your eyes look whiter when you're going the opposite side. It actually just emphasizes that contrast, you know. Um, it depends on your personality type too. Like I can have moods where I feel trendy. I just want to wear a glitter eyeliner, or I want to wear a red lip. I don't do that too often. But glitter eyeliner is a great way to go for the holidays. Red lips are a great way. I wouldn't do both at the same time. I think that's where people go, oh, I don't know. What do I do? Just choose one. Just choose one. You go with a shimmer shadow if that's a big step for you. Just don't do everything. Um, and then blue eyes, have a tendency to, you know, be different. I have actually I did bring eyeshadow compacts with me. They're both Makeup by Mario. These you can get at Sephora. He has launched what I think is a global, sorry, my thing's dinging, global eyeshadow palettes. And this one is his newest one. It's called Ethereal, and it actually is cooler on this side, warmer on this side. So even if you want to try it, like if you have blue eyes, you'd probably go here. If you have brown eyes, you'd go here. It's a safe palette. This one is another one that he did. This is very, very neutral. So, they're but you can find both at Sephora. And generally I go by eye color and complexion. So if you're an olive tone, you're going to go different than somebody who has like a pale reddish undertone. And then picking the foundation, you could simply go to Sephora. Now they have a machine, they read your skin and they can just tell you what shade you need. So, I mean, it's glorious.
Okay. I haven't been in Sephora in a long time. I need to make my way there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's a good point though. Like CVS down the street doesn't have that. So if I want to go to like Revlon, the Revlon or Maybelline or whatever brand, I personally like Revlon. But do I use like the inside? What's the most? Because like I obviously can't try everything.
Your neck right here, because what's going to happen is you're going to put it all over here. And then if it doesn't blend to here, you're going to look really weird. So I will recommend, I just started using the Revlon Color Stay foundation and is by far the best foundation. The shade range is beautiful. They can turn a tiny bit gray, but that's okay because your bronzer can actually make up for that. But the finish, it really is fabulous. It makes your skin look smooth. It forgives a lot of sins and it doesn't break the bank. So
yeah, that's actually what I'm wearing right now. And it has like a concealer in it. Of course, I put a little concealer here, but it covers so amazing. I just put just a little bit of bronzer and then a tiny bit of blush. And
so I will.
How do you get your makeup done in 2 minutes? I'm like, it's part of the routine, right? And at first it's a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just decide what's important to you. Is it cheek color? Will that make you look alive? Mascara always brighten someone's eyes. It is important though that you maybe just choose 3 things to do, mascara, BB cream, which is actually skincare and foundation all in one. And this way you can cut out a step. And it all depends. Do you want high coverage? Do you want light coverage? I do want to address one thing. Clients' number one question, how do I cover up the dark circles under my eyes, right? Because we're not drinking enough, we might be tired, we might, that sort of thing. Concealer is very different from brightener, right? Most of the time, you're going to need a little bit of both for brightening your eyes. Now, this is just so that you could look awake during the day. This is not going to literally make the under eye look less blue or less gray, right? We're going to try to cover it up and brighten it up. But there is a product that you can get at Sephora. I don't think I have it with me. It's an orange based concealer by Francois Nars. And we can write this all down.
Yes.
That
please.
orange, you want to get an orange based concealer because that is again the opposite end of the color wheel that goes right here. Then you can put your brightener on top of it. It is incredible how it cancels that blue out. That's the number one question I get from women. Please make me look less tired. And that's the key. So you can get them at Sephora. NYX Cosmetics is a really good mass market brand, cheap. Elf has a great one too. I like Elf. And they all have one and sometimes different intensities. You just try and choose one. What I like to do is actually get a sample from Sephora or Ulta, and then I'll bring it to the drugstore. Because when I don't want to spend a lot of money, I bring the sample over and I just kind of match it. They don't have mirrors at drugstores, it's really hard. So that's what I do.
Okay, so real quick on the question on the concealer. Yes. Do we do like a triangle here or do we do all the way up? Like what do you typically do?
I try to use it minimally. The concealer is a spot treatment, right? So it would be here or here, under here. The brightener is, I'm trying to here. The brightener goes under here, right in the triangle. Okay. Because you're not trying to cover anything up. You're trying to brighten, and it actually will just brightens up from the middle out. A lot of women want to just cover and think that just because it's lighter, it looks great. But you have to have opticals and brighteners in that formula to make it look brighter. So I really love the Charlotte Tilbury brand for that. She has a beautiful brightener, which I think I do have with me. I'd have to, let's see, sorry, I'm digging around here.
No, that's fine.
Oh, see? It's called Radiant Concealer. This one's fabulous. I don't know if that's if you can see that, but it's called Beautiful Skin. And this one I just use right in here and over here. And sometimes I mix the concealer in it, just for blending purposes. Blending is very
Yeah.
important. So,
Speaking of which, the blending, do we use our fingers or the sponge? Because those sponges get caked up real quick.
they do. The
So,
sponges can be kind of gross if you don't
Yeah.
clean them. So if you don't clean your brushes frequently, like most people don't keep using the blender. Don't keep using the sponge. A good brush is great, but there is nothing like skin to skin contact. That's my nails are not done because I'm detoxing from my dip powder, but even since then, right, the warmth of my skin up against the skin of my skin, or the feel of my skin melts the makeup into the skin because of the warmth. And to me, that is the most efficient. It's faster too, right? Like there are mornings where I'm like, I don't have time to use foundation. I'm just putting on my face quickly when I'm in a rush. I don't have an issue with using hands as long as they're clean, right? It's
Right.
skin contact. Nothing like it.
Okay. Because like with all these concealer brushes, and I'm like, they sell
I know,
these huge
a lot.
brush sets, and they tell you you're not supposed to put your oils in your face, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's the same thing with fitness though,
It's
right?
so overwhelming.
What do I do? It could be,
Right.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, skin to skin is always good. Hands are great. I love hands.
Okay, cool. Oh, that makes me feel better because brushes, they're expensive too, right? So it's like,
They're synthetic versus natural. And a lot of times people don't know what they're getting, and natural hair is not going to deliver. You would think, oh, it's natural, right? So it's going to deliver the result that I need. Synthetic is the way to go. I mean, we could talk about investing in a really good set of brushes, but if you're not a makeup artist, you're not going to care so much. The makeup artist wants the good brushes, and things like that.
Right.
But for our purposes, we'll keep it simple, and just 3 or 4 brushes is all you need. Brushes are great multitaskers. I have one right here that's like 20, it was like $20, and it's a bronzer, it's a contour brush, it does blush and powder. So, and I actually have a couple of these, and when I'm in a rush, they get me through.
Yeah. Love it.
Hopefully that helps a little bit. It's a lot of information and can be confusing, but I've got a lot of women asking me for simple, just please help me with an eyeliner, help me with a foundation or whatever. And hey, that's all you need.
Yeah. Well, especially like this time of year too. In the winter time, many of us are in colder weather, especially actually the whole country now is in colder weather this weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Snowstorm right now, and my skin's not used to it. So.
Right. And it's interesting how like my skin will crack. I will be much more dry in this time of year, these next couple months. And I'm whiter because I'm not always in the sun, right?
Right.
So,
which is also why you get sicker, because I am a big vitamin D person as long as you do it safely. But our immune systems are weak, they're down. So I'm trying to take all the vitamin C and drink all the water. Got to stay at it.
That's right. Okay. So as a busy mom, multi-passionate entrepreneur, you're also in real estate, you're an incredible artist. You have so many things going on. I would love to know kind of like your top 1 or 2 tips to be able to stay healthy, how to balance it all, what quote unquote balance. What are your kind of like your non-negotiables to be successful as a business owner and as a mama and be able to stay healthy? I'd love to know kind of your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge is that I homeschool 3 kids as well as do all the things, right? But this is the world we live in, right? We're always taught that you got to have one or the other. Right now, we're all surviving by doing multiple things. This is just the society we live in. And I generally try to at least get one thing done with each thing that I work on a day. Okay. I'm not going to move mountains in a day. If I can, for instance, your expectation must be realistic, right? I wish homeschooling was amazing every day. It's not. I'm like, Kids, if you can read 10 pages a day in your book, I'm good with that. You don't have to be brilliant in phonics and math and all that other stuff. When I'm doing my marketing, when I put my marketing hat on, what is the one goal? Like one post. If I have to make one post, it's good. It's good. I'm good. Give yourself grace, right? You can't do everything every day. And we think that we just have to turn the world around so quickly, and it doesn't work like that. A lot of things come organically. So, when I'm doing makeup, if I have a wedding to do that day, or somebody's bridal portraits, or there's an editorial shoot, that will be the one thing I focus on. And that's it. That's it. And it's going to be just fine. I mean,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? How do you do it? Because you're the same way. I look at you and I'm like, oh my word, like she's doing like multiple Facebook posts and groups. And I'm like, how does she do it? What do you do?
So I live and breathe by the Crystal Clear Life Planner, and my habit tracker. So I have determined, like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm not snoozing, I get my workout in. And I love to give myself the morning. So I really typically won't have any appointments until 9 a.m.
Yes.
Is the earliest when I'll schedule. So my mornings are for me to really catch up, to do my meditation, do my workout, do my journaling, set my intentions. And then I start with gratitude, and then I'm like, okay, what's going to be a good day today? Because
Yeah.
tonight I have to evaluate how intentional was I? Did I accomplish everything? So like going into the day is like, all right, what can I do? What can I kick the can on? How can I give myself grace?
Yeah.
And then what are the 3 top things that I'm going to be able to accomplish today to be like, yep, that's a good day.
Yes. I will
So
say working out, when I start my day and I work out, my day is far more productive than the days that I don't. It is the weirdest thing. And I'm like, okay, why? Because I mean, I really just filled my day with 30 more minutes of stuff, right? But there's I think it's a mindset. It's a mindset you have to put in place purposefully in the morning and just say, this is what I'm going to do.
yes, yes, and it really does. It starts the metabolism, it gets your brain flowing, like everything works. And it's an investment in your time, right? But I always say it's the best appointment that you can make for yourself is those 30 minutes at least, right? But even if it's not 30, if it's 20 or 15 or even 5 is better than 0.
Yeah.
Right. And even
Like a
just get the
3-minute
blood
ab
flowing.
is great, because at least I'm not feeling like I feel tight after that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just small manageable things every day, right? So I always say, and you hear this in my programs, is like the brain keeps track of the times that we show up for ourselves and the times that we consistently do the things that we know are going to fuel us forward, those commitments that we tell ourselves. And the brain also keeps track of the days that you cancel on yourself. And that is so much worse. That feeling is so much worse than just lacing up your shoes or washing your face before you go to bed or putting good skincare or investing just, maybe this 30 minutes here just to learn about your body and just spend that time for yourself and say, I deserve this.
Yes. 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 There are days when I'm just super tired and I'm like, I don't feel like washing my makeup off, but I know that to keep my skin healthy, I have to. It takes 2 minutes, right? So what did I do? I actually got a really cool face brush that massages my skin while I'm washing it. So that like before I go to bed, I'm like, oh, this feels amazing, right? And it's both efficient and relaxing. And this way it doesn't seem like a chore. And I literally found it for $6 at the bin store. I mean, it was just a really cool find. And I just discovered it. I'm like, this is probably another. Yes, the bin store.
We need to talk about the bin store. Amazing.
Couldn't believe it that day. The woman was like, thank you. The woman was looking at me like, why are you so excited? I'm like, I know her. She's my friend. She wrote that book.
For those people who missed the post, Kara was in the bin store and she sent me this picture. For those of you who don't know, I published this planner. It's on Amazon, right? I published it a year ago. I barely did a launch. Hardly anybody knows about it. but that's going to change in 2023. I get reports quarterly of warehouse, bulk orders from Amazon. And there's special warehouse pricing, but it doesn't tell me who orders. It doesn't, I mean, I get cents on it.
Oh,
It's not, right? So
yeah.
I don't even know. So your picture of like the picture of my planner in someone's cart was like the first, I was like jumping out of my skin, like,
It's funny because I didn't
So-
know you didn't get data. Like I thought everything was traceable and super like efficient, but okay. So the lady at the bin store actually told me I might have more. I might have more, but I don't know because they can't, they have these big shipments come in, but some are bigger than others. She's like, books especially, we kind of just put in a different section. And the lady, I tried to tell her too, I said, you don't understand what you're buying for yourself. And when I said that, I was like, oh, chances are she's not going to let me have it now. But I said to her, that is gonna, I was like, this is the greatest thing that you're gonna do for yourself. If it's for you, like, I don't know if she was buying it for her or a friend, but the desire is there in a person. They just need a simple steps on how to like organize their life because it's not impossible, Oh, that was exciting. Like, I know her.
Yes, that was so great. Oh my gosh, made my entire day. I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually in stores. This is a thing.
Yes, it's
Super
real.
cool.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. It's cool.
And as an entrepreneur, we have to celebrate those small wins, and everything in between. So as we round out 2022, so much to celebrate. I'd love to hear one thing that you're celebrating this year. I would love to know what's happening next year. I think you have a couple of things in the works. And then also how we can get in touch with you. If someone wants to have a consultation, what does that look like and where can we find you?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm celebrating. There's a lot to celebrate always, right? There's so much that you have a heart of gratitude. You can find a million things to be grateful for. I've been in South Carolina for 3.5 years and I knew one person when I moved down here, and it's hard sometimes, how it is being military and then you have kids, you're like, there's no friends around, there's nothing. And it was kind of hard to acclimate, to be honest. As a northerner, it was one of the biggest challenges, but I'm celebrating the fact that after 3.5 years, it'll be 4 years in February, that it doesn't matter what store I go into, I actually bump into someone that I know everywhere I go. And really, it was all about just being assertive, right? I can be very insecure. I can be very shy, not confident. But I've learned that everybody else can be that way too, and most people just want you to reach out. They want you to be your friend, and it was those little steps that I made, saying hello to someone, just talking to them, asking them questions, right? You make friends. And now, like, I went to a coffee shop 2 mornings ago. I saw 10 people I knew. 10.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my word, I really do have to put myself together in the morning now because they're going to be seeing, right? They know he has a makeup artist, but two people came up to me that morning and said, I need to get with you on a tutorial. I need to get with you because I want to learn the simple steps. It took 3 years, like it could feel like such a slow process, but at the same time, we don't, nothing's instant, right? It's like constantly working on ourselves. There's good days, there are bad days, but this year I'm celebrating that, which also indicates that 2024 can be a very big deal for my business and making steps with business owners. I'm actually part of a huge giveaway in our area now. I'm with 13 or 14 women-owned business entrepreneurs we want to give back to the community in the area that we're in. And we're now offering, clothes, skincare, makeup. It's going to be amazing. So you can contact me on Instagram at Cara Renee Makeup. I'm also on Facebook, same Cara Renee Makeup. And I have an email address, carapromakeup@gmail.com. Anybody can email me or message me. I'd love for them to follow me just to tips. We know Instagram, right, doesn't want photos anymore. They want videos. So now I'm doing little mini tutorials and like these reels. Hopefully they'll be helpful, but people love them, and it answers a question, right? We're solving problems.
Yes.
We're solving problems, and that's the goal this year. Let's solve more problems.
I love it. It's a big undertaking.
Yes,
Solving
I know
all the
you have a
world's
lot going on.
problems.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I certainly appreciate all of your insight and your beauty today and for pouring into us. It has been incredible. And so before we go, I want to know, so what is your definition of Cruise Beyond Limits?
Oh my goodness. My definition of Cruise Beyond Limits is way more than just fitness and nutrition. You have really helped me see that it's just an inward thing. It's about getting yourself to go beyond the limits of what you think your limits are, because we limit ourselves, right? Um, Literally, like bringing your muscles to fatigue has made me realize, actually I have the capacity to do so much more than I used to do, right? Things don't get easier, we get stronger emotionally, physically, right? We by with fitness and nutrition, that's just the physical aspects, but with that comes the emotional and the spiritual as well. And there's been a lot of healing and a lot of growth. There's been a lot of ambition built just from the 6 months or 7 months that I've done your program. Cruise Beyond Limits is really just going beyond your own limits and conquering more. Sorry, that's my husband's
okay.
phone.
No, that's okay. We love technology.
Yes. So I hope that answers your question, but it's way more valuable
Absolutely.
than just a good workout in the morning.
Yes, and I think the theme for today is really just efficiency, really learning that the glow comes from within too.
It
And
does.
it's about our healthy habits and what we put into our body, how we take care of it. And it can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be if we spend the time and just invest the time and figure out the recipe that works for us, right? And
Somebody said to me recently, they were like, something tells me that you are living your best life right now. But I'm like, that's because we're just investing in we're feeding ourselves, right? We need to.
yes,
It's very hard to feel depleted when you have multiple children and you're doing all the things. It's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay.
yes.
You need to live too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, living the dream, gotta love it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, well, so I need to take notes. I need to catch the replay, take notes on
Yes.
all of your things, but hopefully we can get some links out.
Yes.
And we'll post in the comments too a good contact link for you. I know you have like a forum where people can fill out and ask questions.
On my Instagram
So
page, yep, there's a link. It says Kara's 360 right there. My face will pop up. You click on my face. There's a form. Any questions, skincare, anything, hair care, whatever. What do you do when you're in this mood? I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out.
love it, love it. Thank you so much. This has
Thank
been
you, Crystal.
incredible. I learned
Thank
so
you.
much. And just from another female entrepreneur to another and a military spouse as well. Thank you so much for all that you do. We're changing lives, we're changing worlds. We're just one conversation at a time, and that's what this is all about. So thank you.
Special.
Of course, it is. So I'm gonna try to figure out technology. This is like a master here. So we're gonna end this, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Be safe out there. I know it's cold and travel is difficult, but I hope you enjoy your time with your loved ones and those kiddos. So all right, have a good
Happy New Year, all the things.
thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.